All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Barakak Wadash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach and rule well. I'm going to say salutations to the Lord's elect, feeding the sheep of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. This is Brother Barak, and I want to be doing this lesson on, basically, the Lord was always right, and how, we got to stay away from these unclean foods. Now in the screenshot it says how Walmart basically just recently recalled shrimp for being radioactive, and as followers of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, we have to have, we need to be have the discernment to be able to distinguish between these foods and what to eat, and and how Esau weaponized the food system. Now I'm going to bring out this verse. All right, this is the book of Ezekiel 4:13, and it says, "And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." Right, so Esau, what he does is he will not only weaponize the food, right, but he will put hidden things in the food. So you got things like glycerin, right, which is found in toothpaste, that has pork in it, and these are hidden things you might not even know. It might not say pork, it might not say gelatin, because most people I do believe they know gelatin comes from pork, right? But you got things like glycerin, you got things like what's the other thing called, chondroitin sulfate, right, that comes from shark carcasses. That's not as well known, but you got things like boar brush, boar toothbrush that got that pork skin up on it. You got things like and then you got things like more just what's the other thing, you got things like Baskin Robbins, like that has like crustaceans in it. You get like lobsters in it. But Esau, what he does is he hides things in these food. So he hides the ingredients, right? So you have to have also, you have to ask the Lord for discernment, and you have to read everything, right? Now, granted, we have to keep all the laws to the best of our ability. But sometimes Esau might put something in food you might not even know. You might not even see that. That's a thing. And that's why we're not fully there in the new covenant either, because we're going off every day, and you might not even know it. You might go off every day. And Esau, basically what he does is he just hides these things, right? So you might not be able to tell. He'll put an ingredient and masquerade it as something else. So this is the book of 1 Corinthians 6:19, and it says, "What know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, and which ye have from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and that ye are not your own?" So the Holy Spirit basically is in our body, right? And when you put these abominable things, you can start to feel it, right? You could start, honestly, like you feel it, and you might not even know it, and you're like, you look back at it, and you're like, man, maybe that's why I was tripping, because I might have ate this with this thing, and you might not even have known it, because these foods, what they are basically vessels for unclean spirits, right? They're unclean. So and there's a story of how basically the demons went into the pigs. I'm gonna pull that out, and this is the book of Matthew 8:28. It says, Yahushua sends the demons into the pigs, and when he came into the other side, into the country of Gadarenes, 2 demon-possessed men confronted him as they were coming out of the tombs. They were so extremely violent that no one could pass by that way, and they cried out, saying, What business do you have with us, son of Yahweh? Have you come here to torment us before the time? Now there was a herd of many pigs feeding at a distance from them. And the demons begged him, saying, "If you are going to cast us out, send us into the herd of pigs." So that's basically what happened, man. These demons basically went to the pigs, because the pigs are unclean and they are basically a vessel for, and that's the thing. That's why we have to stay away from these foods. So you got shrimp, you got the lobster, right? You got these other things, the crabs, um, you know, and these are things that the heathens eat, right? So you go to a different country, country like in Asia or something, right? And these are things that these heathens eat every day, right? So the Lord was basically telling us, not to eat these foods. And then you got things like lobsters, right, and crabs, where they basically marketed them as such a highly perceived, highly a prestigious food, right? Food that only rich people can eat. But this was slave food, man. They had us eating this shit, back in the day, where this was basically like the just the most disgusting bottom feeder, bottom of the barrel food, and they gave it to us. Now fast forward today, you got restaurants like, these things are costing like hundreds of dollars, man. They're going for hundreds of dollars. It's like they're trying to make it like seem like it's prestigious or something. It's not. It's slave food. And these foods, you open them up and you see the maggots crawling out of them. And this is why our people, they also, they got all these types of diseases, man. So you got diabetes and, heart palpitations. You got like, you got all these, different ailments, right? Because, you're going off eating bacon, crab, and Golden Corral, every fucking day, and that's completely going off. The Lord gonna bring judgment on these people, man. Matter of fact, you got these you're already seeing it happen right now, where you got these two Jakes. I believe the other woman is also a Jake, right? And basically you see these, like, them eating some sort of clam with bacon or something, right? Completely going off, right? And right when they're about to eat that, or when they eat it, right, a car just comes in and just smashes through their window, right? And these are basically warning signs from the Lord, like, like, you want to fall into the hands of the Lord, you really want to play around, because that's what Jake just want to play around, scoff, make fun of the prophets, but it always comes back. It always comes back to basically, the Lord's in control of everything, right? He's in control of everything. So these are warning signs from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But people want to be ignorant and fucking stiff-necked and basically be like, "Oh, I'm still gonna eat it." We're all gonna die eventually. We're all gonna just we're but it tastes so good. It's so hard to give that up, man. And it just looks disgusting, man. When you see these foods for what they are, man, they're just so disgusting, bro. You gotta have some sort of, you gotta have some sort of spirits on you to be eating something like that. Because for those of you who don't know, man, a shrimp is basically a roach. It is basically a roach that just lives in the water. And now we're seeing that they're, which I didn't even know before, but now people are saying they're radioactive, and it's because these shrimp basically they live in places where garbage gets picked up, right? Where trash basically gets collected, right? that they live in wastelands, and even like roaches and stuff like that. Roach can survive in like, like nuclear conditions, I believe, right? Or something like, or like something similar. I can't. I might be wrong on that one, but they can survive in extreme conditions, right? So this is the same thing with these shrimps, man. They can basically they're just there to collect shit, but then you got Jacob here eating the shrimp, right? And then the shrimp, once it digest in your body, then these maggots start forming, parasites. You got people, parasites coming out of people, all different holes of their body, you know, coming in their eyes, in their what, and that's a scary judgment from Yahweh Shemel Shai. That's just you guys gotta stop playing around, right? It's just it's you really want this to happen to you. You really want a maggot start forming out of coming out of your eyes. That's scary, man. you know but anyways, man, I'm gonna put up a picture on the screen, right? And this is basically everything that could possibly have pork, right? And you got things that has crustaceans, shrimp, right? But this is why, man, when Lord comes back, he's gonna make everything completely come correct, including he's gonna get rid of all this abominable food that's been defiled amongst these heathens, and so yeah, it comes in, you got pork. It makes hair products, right? It makes they use the blood, the skin, the lard of the pork. And it makes candy and all sorts of supplements, and you don't want that, man. You want to be able to read ingredients, use your righteous judgment to the best of your ability. Use your discernment. Ask the Lord for discernment, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shah, that he gives us knowledge, and you have to be able to put the correct things in your body for it to operate properly. For your spirit to be on point. There's your spiritual food. There's also the physical food as well, right? If you're eating bacon and shrimp and crustaceans and Baskin Robbins and all this nonsense, man, you're gonna feel like shit. Your body's gonna feel lethargic. You're gonna have sugar crashes. You're gonna be laying down, and that's another thing. You don't want to be laying down after you eat a meal. You want to be trying to move around, because that can cause acid reflux, and it can cause just slower digestion, right? The food doesn't digest as properly, right? So that's another thing. You see people, they show you on the TV, people on these sitcoms, people eating then laying down, and that's basically programming you to act that way, right? And you want to try not to do that. That's another thing, right? And another thing is just watch out. Just watch out. Read the ingredients on the back of the ingredient label, but then look into the ingredient, and look into each ingredient, right? Because then that ingredient could have could have pork in it, could have shrimp in it, could have human hair. You might not even know it, right? So I just want to make this quick lesson, Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to say, call Yahweh Bashim Rashai Bashim Rakah HaKodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach them real well. I want to say Shalom.